So ashram, as you know, the word ashram, right? It can mean, littéralement, si nous prenons, of course, littéralement, it means a place usually, where we go in an ashram. Maybe in India, we have lots of ashram like this. Ashram can mean home also, old persons, etc. This is the literal meaning of ashram, right? But here, when we are talking about ashram, you can explain it in this way. Ashram, it comes from the word shram, right? Shram, which means effort, right? So what do we do? What effort do we do? We do the right effort. We call that, you'll do that later on in Buddhism. Buddha has given us 8 steps, you can say, or 8 paths, right, to attain liberation or to attain goodness in life. So one of them is right effort, right? Of course, right effort, what is that really? It's something to be explained. But if we do the right effort, means we are going to be successful in whatever thing it is, material life, spiritual life. If we do the right effort, like if we are studying, if we do the right effort, we are going to pass the exams. Even for life, it is like that, right? If we do the right thing, we shall be successful. So you can take it ashram from the word shram. We do the right effort. Okay. Now ashram, say, it is known to be a resting place. A resting place. Pas nécessairement être physical, it really a house, a place, no, right? It's just like a moment in life, you can say, a moment in life where things change, right? Or you take it to be a resting place where we can gather courage, we can gather wisdom, knowledge or wisdom to move further in life, or you call that in the journey of life. Life is all a journey. Maybe you remember when you were a kid, you are young, you will be adults, you will become old, and eventually all of us will die that way. This is the journey of life, right? So ashram is the resting place where we can gather courage, we do the right effort, we gather wisdom or knowledge, however you want to call it, to go on the further journey, right? So our scriptures, of course, say the Veda, our original scripture, the Veda has given us, prescribed, as if you can say, has given us 4 ashramas, right? 4 ashramas, and we have to follow them. The 4 ashramas. So this is like prescribed in the Veda, of course in other scriptures, but we take the original one right now. In the Veda, in prescribed que nous devons follow the 4 ashramas, which is the 4 stages of life, right? The 4 stages of life. Now, how come life has 4 stages, right? Let's go with that. The 4 stages. In the Upanishad, Isha Upanishad, sorry. In the Isha Upanishad, remember that word. Souvent des fois, vous trouvez dans une bande de voix pour refer to Isha Upanishad. It's one among the easiest Upanishad, and you have that in your syllabus as well. right? And you have also Katha Upanishad, which is quite easy. So we can take references from there. You can take references from Bhagavad Gita also, right? So in the Isha Upanishad, it has been said that in the second verse, it has been said that one must, this is the translation of it, one must aspire to live for 400 years by doing good actions, right? The translation of the one line of the verse. So whenever you are quoting something, always mention from where does it come, right? Bon, fait comme si at that time you are not remembering, is it Isha Upanishad, is it Chandogya Upanishad, ou écrit seulement Upanishad, okay? The reference is important here. So in the Isha Upanishad, if you don't remember it is second verse, no problem, seulement Isha Upanishad. You write, one must aspire to live 400 years by doing good actions. This, you should learn this verse. Make sure you remember that. Dans my livre, vous trouvez in different kind of language, etc. But you learn your easiest way, right? You learn your easiest way. This is how I remember it when I remember it that way, right? Now, we need to aspire to live 400 years. What are we going to do for 100 years then? We do good actions. Now, while doing good actions, it is obvious that we do bad actions. That is why we keep on coming on earth, which is the cycle of birth and death, right? We take birth, so we grow, we die, we take birth again. Right? But in that whole journey of taking birth, of living for 100 years, we need to do the good actions. Now, when we were a kid and when we become old, physically we are not the same, mentally we are not the same, right? Emotionally we are not the same. So the scriptures, or you can say God, or you can say the sages, they have given us the 4 stages of life. So the 100 years, they divide into 4, and then you get the stages of life, which is each stage is 25 years. We stay in one stage, in one ashram for 25 years. And you know the first one is the Brahmacharya ashram, the Grihast ashram, the Vanprastha ashram, and the Sannyas ashram. But writing it in Ajamunda Sannyas Pumit, ici, this is not an issue. You write it your way, okay? So, the 100 years que nous supposons aspire to live should be divided là, in these 4. So here, normalement, parfois on dit 0 à 25, but it's pas vraiment 0 as such. You can say as from 5 to 6. But why do we say 0? That is since we are born. Because we learn from parents, we learn from the environment, no, at home to some. So this is still like a moment plutôt of life where we are learning, right? And here Grihastha say 25 à 50. That is, it will be 26 to 20 to 50. And here 50 to 75. And here 75 to 100. If the person lives more than 100, il est toujours dans sannyas ashram, right? Now, this is very, you should know, of course. I believe you know it already, right? The Brahmacharya ashram say the student life, where we are going to learn. Then we have Grihast, say marriage and responsibilities. et pas seulement marriage, of course, responsibilities. And here, say the forest life. And here, say total, the word total is important, renunciation, right? Total renunciation. So that's why one need to aspire to live for 100 years. The one who lives for 100 years believe to have an excellent life ou bien excellent karma qui fait parce que l'incapable passe par tous les 4 étapes. But it's not always the truth, you know, parce que the present setup is different. We'll come to that later, right? So students, you know, they go to the Gurukul, they study, right? Grihasthas say, we take a job, we earn, get married, having a family, responsibilities together with it. And then we renounce, we detach. Here itself, we detach. And then we come to the total renunciation, total detachment from everything. What is the use? Si nous get bien, right? Vanprastha is sannyasi, more or less the same thing. More or less the same thing, right? Apart ki peut-être maturity will be different, wisdom, knowledge will be different, right? Plus nous grandit, nous maturity, we change. You know? Wisdom, of course, we get wisdom. But what is the use of the what is the use of the Vanprastha ashram then? If we have the brahmacharya grihas qui fait nous pas direct dans sannyas. It could have been like that, but of course it's not. Because the Vanprastha ashram is like a training, you know, a resting place where we learn, where we gather courage to go for further journey. So Vanprastha, it is a kind of training to enter totally in the total renunciation stage. Because when you get married, we have responsibilities, we have family, we have our children, the spouse, etc. We become attached to everyone. This is the stage actually where we become more attached. Quand nous encore student, we are attached at times to parents, you can say to brother and sister. Mais quand la vie change là, we get married and all, we have lots of other relationships, and then we get more entangled in that materialism, you can say, or relationship, whatever you call that, right? So it's not an easy thing to detach, no? Souvent des fois, quand someone dies in our house, our home, we feel that pain. The person is not here. C'est quoi? Is it love? Is it attachment? A big question mark, of course. Souvent des fois, nous disons nous comptons, nous prochains, etc. But if we realize, well, this is not love, it is attachment. Because in love, there is no conditions, and there is no also, if you're not here, I'm going to die, I'm going to do this and that. Ça pas exister in love, because love is pure. Love is pure. The real love, kinuena, c'est the connection, the love, the relationship we have with God. This is the real, the ultimate one. Of course, the one around us, we are loving them, we are caring, but at the end of the day, we get more attached to them. So it's not an easy thing to detach. Detach completely. It becomes impossible. And especially we are people living in Kali Yuga. Fine, that could have been easier. But we are totally in materialism today. Si nous get autour de nous, là, c'est completely materialism. Right? So it's important that we have this stage of life, right? To learn that detachment. And here we have the total renunciation. We are not attached to anything or to anyone. This is at the last stage of life, which is the sannyas ashram, right? So with that, I come to say the materialist ou bien the spiritualist. Actually, much as I explained ça avant, but I was going with the flow, right? Bon, of course, la vie est comme ça. We always have two extremes in life. I put it here. We have two extremes in life. You must have experienced that by now. Dans language of the religious books, you can find the pair of opposites. These are what we call the two extremes of life. I give you one example: sorrow and happiness. The two extremes of life. Is it okay if I work on one extreme only, sorrow, or bien the other extreme, which is the happiness, right? No. Spiritually speaking, it's not okay. It's not to be done. Vous pouvez pas vivre la vie completely, comment dire, double in sorrow comme si. We can't do that. We will never progress in life. Qu'il y academically, qu'il y materially or spiritually. Now, if I see only the happy side, I mean happiness side, and I don't know what is sorrow, is it okay? No. Qu'est faire? Si nous vivons la vie, that I just imagine a life. Peut-être difficile parce que nous pas in life comme ça. Imagine a life where there is totally happiness in life. Only happiness in life. It's difficult. We will be someone ignorant, arrogant, not having good qualities. Qui faire? Parce que when we have sorrows in life, quand we na douleur, we na and situation in you are in pain. You understand the importance of happiness. Mais ça sorrow là qui fait nous venir. Quand on a sorrow dans la vie, qui fait nous venir, il fait nous venir better person. Right? I'm not telling you go and look for sorrows now. We need to have both in life. So we can't work on any of the extreme of life. Nous pas capables vivre en la vie que nous simplement in sorrow, non plus en la vie que only happiness, enjoying and so on. No, we need to have both. Buddha has called that the middle path. Buddha has called that the middle path. We need to choose the middle path. We need to choose the middle path. Donc, the middle path, c'est a life where we have some sorrows and happiness as well. Right? Comme ça, qui peut arriver à ce moment-là, we understand people, we develop good qualities, we develop understanding, patience, empathy. Tout ça là, important to develop. Tant que nous payons tout ça là, we can't progress spiritually. Right? So we cannot become the person who is materialist. Know the person who is only spiritualist. Now, don't misunderstand this. Being a spiritualist is good. We need to become spiritual. But put that in mind that we are living in a, what you call Kali Yuga. We are living in Kali Yuga, non? Comment, si c'était Satyug, pas de bizarre, même ça matérialisme là. But we are in Kali Yuga. We need to have both. Bon, pas dire que nous payons des gens qui sont purely seulement spiritualists. Maybe we have that on earth, right? But practically speaking, nous disons amen la vie que we have both in life. You don't include that in your work when you are doing. There is someone called Osho. I don't know if you heard about him, an old man with La Bob, etc. Don't go in details with that. If you want to learn Sase, of course you go, but don't include it here because in a negative thing with it, right? Osho has said something nice. I read that in one of his books. Is we need to, sorry, we have sensors, no? Nutunwena sensors, the eyes, the taste, and all, right? The normal that if I see a handsome guy in front of me, I feel infatuation, I feel love, I feel pleasures, and blah, blah, and blah, blah. It's normal, right? But what do we need to do? We need not suppress desires. Bon, desires probably comme si anticipate to a good level, in a ban desire bien extrême qui nous pas supposé, right? Donc, Osho said that actually we need not to suppress desires. Even in the Vedas, it has been written that do not suppress desires. Qui fait? When you suppress things, emotions, desires, later what will happen? Lipu blast, of course. Right? Then, we suppress desires, we are on spiritual path. We need to suppress desires. At the end, there will be no spirituality left. That's why we need to have both in life. The middle path, choose the middle path. This is what we need to do in this Kali Yuga. C'est pour ça aussi que nous avons the Grihastha ashram. C'est pour ça que nous avons Grihastha ashram. Grihastha ashram, c'est the life where we get married. And when we get married, we enjoy the senses, we enjoy sensual and sexual pleasures here, right? So the Vedas or the sages, when they gave this, they prescribed these 4 stages of life. They're very logical, they're very practical, right? One minute, please. Right, so we continue. Donc, the 4 stages of life, which is Brahmacharya ashram, where we are a student. And a student, Kilifea, of course, we study. Now, study and we develop values, etc. Now, when we are saying study, usually in the previous time, in the previous years, you can say, we had the Gurukul system. No, we had the Gurukul system. Today, of course, in India today, we still have certain Gurukuls, not much really, but in a modernized one, not as previously, right? Sorry. So they were living in the Gurukul, they were learning the spiritual knowledge, the Vedas, the scriptures. Apart from that, they were also learning what you gathering to the secular knowledge. Secular knowledge will see, like, subjects like you study at school, physics, science, or astronomy, astrology, architecture, so everything, mathematics also, everything to Sara is found in the Vedas, right? Nowadays, Vedic mathematics is very famous. I don't know if you came through that. Actually, there was a Hindi movie, no, Shakuntala, on that. The Vedic mathematics, there is a system how they learn mathematics. So Sarasi from the Veda, actually, right? So they were learning that while living in the Gurukul as well. They were living under the guidance of the Guru. They were living under the guidance of the Guru, and they had a strict life, disciplined, a very simple life. Simple life in terms of clothes, in terms of the way of living. They were in bed, they were sleeping on the floor, peut-être made grass or and mat or something. And they faisaient their own work, right? Washing their own clothes, doing their own work, service to the Guru. They were leading an austere life, c'est-à-dire doing penances, doing meditation. Now, if you see that how they were doing learning and living in the Gurukul, now just see the present context. Just imagine the present context, how it is. Right? Very different, practically, plutôt less disciplined. Life of students are not simple. They really have problems, broken families, early sexual life, austere life. So far I never met a student like that, in an austere life as such. I mean, in these present days, right? Doing meditation, penances, comme on trouvé dans film at times. No, it was exactly like that. But we don't have that system today, right? And if you take in India or even in our country, Mauritius, because we have part of the Hindu culture here, it's not that, no more that, Pluto. Because previously, thanks to our ancestors, we had all these stuff, but actually no more, right? Very less. So the student is supposed to remain unmarried, Kalipe encore en prendre, 0 à 25 ans in the Gurukul, unmarried, completely free from all sorts of sexual gratification. Ben, Zodjizu, c'est pas ça qu'il nous trouvait. Right? Having boyfriends, girlfriends, and trend, no? And fashion nowadays. Right? Of course, falling in love exists and all that. Of course, it exists, but that time should be dedicated to studies. No? Because at this age, jusqu'à 25 ans, approximately, you can say, we are very energetic. We are very energetic. And that energy, we need to channel that in our studies. Because this is what is going to make our life. Right? If we don't, of course, it's not going to happen. That success maybe that we want, where we want to reach in life, we're not going to have that. We need to get that. So that studies, that energy should be channeled to do that particular thing, to study, right? So with that, they learn the different skills, moral qualities, of course. They learn about dharma, about health, professional skills. They start developing that here in the Gurukul. Parce que après, quand il quitte Gurukul, this is what he is going to do. He's going to enter the job market, looking for a job and then getting married and all, right? So whenever you are writing or you are learning about ashram, always think how it was traditionally and how it is today. Okay, you usually have questions like that. For example, this is a question, just giving you an example. The system of the four ashramas began in a different world from ours. So they are difficult to follow in contemporary society, means in today's society. So you see, you have to, at times, quand je suis dans SC, we used to write les enfants n'ont because this law ashram n'est pas compared to the modern situation. Les Canadiens sont point aussi at maximum try, no, but now it's different. You need to criticize things a lot, to write about the model setup, c'est bien important, right? So the grihasthashram, c'est the household life, the second stage of life. Après 25 ans, we enter the grihasthashram. Now, should it be 25 ans ou bien plus? Of course, it can be more than that. It can be lesser also. Fait comme si un Dimoun, 23 ans, il finit ce degré, il finit tout, he got a job. He can get married. Puvi, il est capable arrive in stage, he has a job, he has a work, he's earning, he can shoulder responsibilities, and then he or she gets married. Et il est capable aussi bien après. Okay, dans les trentaines, tout ça, as it is today. Most of us, we are getting married a bit late in the 30s. So this is a life where we get married, we raise the family, we have a profession, right? We earn money, we pay tax. When we are earning money, we pay tax. We are giving our time, our effort to the family. The family comes first here, right? The family comes first at this stage of life. And then everything comes later. Mais quand nous, dans les autres ashrams, c'est pas family qui vient avant. For example, if you are in Vanaprastha Sannyas ashram, we need to detach from the family. The family is not important, right? So the householder's life, he has to live a religious life, very important. Follow the moral conduct, righteousness, which he learned in Gurukul, he has to practice, continue to practice that, right? It is a life where we fulfill our desires, sexual gratification,